FCL. I think that the main issue right now for the FSPL is that uncertainty about their scheduling, and I hope that we can put some pressure on FYSA to solve that.
All right. Well, let's back up here. Let's first approve the minutes for the executive session. Greg?
I gotta find them. Hold on. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. Let's go to August. Yeah, there's you know, remember it was a quick meeting.
Yeah. All right, so motion to approve minutes for executive session, last executive session.
Make a motion to approve the last executive session in August.
Second.
Second.
Thank you.
All right, second by Juan. Motion passed. Let's move on.
Okay.
Any protests and appeals?
I don't believe so.
I know there are some red cards, but I with Sherry not being here, I know there were several red cards this weekend. I don't know how those are being handled, but we'll have to deal with that later. So we'll move on. No protest, no appeal. How about old business?
Okay. Let's see. No. I don't think we have any.
All right, so no old business, new business. C4 games being canceled this weekend, and I'm assuming those has to do with the issue we were talking about before regarding State Cup. Okay,
Correct.
Greg, you have an insight on? I know my insight on what I heard. You have an insight on that issue?
Yeah. We have had in the years past. We've always had. We've always gone head to head with guys like Eddie Pena and other assigners in different areas, especially those down in Lakewood Ranch that assign games to those tournaments down there, and then take away our referees to those clubs that are still playing games down there. We've gotten by that, you know, fairly well, but we have I believe we have a conflict of interest here in that one of our signers, Dave Deegan, is a USA assigner, and apparently he's also an FSPL, State Cup, and FYSA assigner as well. And from the information I can gather, he has been telling referees not to do their USA games and to do State Cup games. Okay. Now, in the past, we've always left that up to the referees to make that decision. Okay. But, you know, when we've got games scheduled, referees assigned, you know, fields assigned, and we're ready to go, and then, you know, FYSA comes in at the last minute and says, well, you know, we got to do this, or we got to do that, and we need this referee and that referee. And then he releases them without telling anybody. I guess that's the issue. Les, were you made aware of that none of those referees would show up to your game?
Well, the center referee basically told me that Deegan told him to cancel he will cancel his game and referee and assign him to Arbandale to do the State Cup games, and the referee insists no. He wants to do the Winter Haven games.
Good for him. So I'm wondering, I mean, I guess.
And I didn't know this was going on until I saw your email after I came back from the field yesterday. And it confirmed exactly what the guy told me.
Because you did have that issue in North Lakeland this past weekend.
And it also happened in North Lakeland on Saturday.
Was canceled.
So, I don't believe, and you guys are the board. I don't believe our assigners have the authority to cancel games and push referees to other games.
Well, that's what happened this weekend. And I don't know if anybody else on this call whose games were canceled in because I know Coco had that situation this weekend too, right, Coco?
Recently, I had my U19 girls cancel on Saturday against, I can't remember the other team, but the reason was no referees available due to, my team was playing away in Winter Haven, I believe, due to no referee assigned, no referees available.
When were you notified of that, Coco?
Friday.
Less than
I'm
20
sorry, Thursday evening. And
Yeah, that should have been the one. I think, Greg, if you would see the emails, I think you was copied on it. That came out Thursday night
right.
about that. And I think it stated, Deegan stated that there will be no referees for your game, so you need to cancel them at some point or something like that on that email.
And the
okay,
reason there's no games is because he pulled them.
yeah.
Well,
That
the
is
referee was originally assigned and they pulled him at the last minute.
Okay, so here's the notification at 8:28 p.m. USA Board has received a notification from a game being canceled, game 853. Unfortunately, the referee pool is being diminished due to State Cup. This game is going to be placed for a further game later on.
Yeah, and I think that's wrong
That is wrong. That is very wrong.
because USA was already assigned and you can't pull your USA referees last minute for State Cup. That's wrong.
And may I make a note,
I
a
agree.
second note
I
on that?
agree.
May I make an addition note on that too? I also assigned for North Lakeland, and I found out about when I called I had 2 referees assigned to that game or to those games on Saturday, and I called him to see how things was going. He says, "Oh, well, the games got canceled at North Lakeland. Deegan has moved us." Now we're talking the lines that I assigned, moved us over here to Auburndale to help cover games over here. So not only did he cancel the games and pull the centers, he also pulled my referees that I assigned on the ARs to Auburndale too.
Why don't we
Literally
do this? Why don't we invite him to the next meeting? And if he declines, let's go to Plan B and reorganize for next year and replace him.
Well,
we
I
gotta-
think we should reorganize the referees by county.
We have
Referee
to
assignments by
reorganize right
county.
now, Alan.
Say what?
And
What I don't understand, he does not have the authority to pull AR.
Well, he did though. The problem is he did. I mean, but what are we
Yeah,
going to do about it? We can talk about it all night, but what are we going to do about it? I think
Well,
he
pull him.
should come to the next meeting and have
well,
a
I don't
discussion of
think
why he did it.
think we even need an explanation for this. I think we need to set up where USA set up referee assigners by county to assign referee both center and ARs by
Yeah.
county.
Yeah, yeah. We
That's my proposal.
Yeah.
I need to ask a question because I'm being ignorant here. In the case of us, Yanni royalties, that we deal directly for any games that we have at the Hawks. Does he have to have like being sanctioned by USA in order to be able to assign USA games?
He has to be FSR certified, first of all. Okay, he's got to be certified, and FSR can do that for him. And then he's got to
But my
sign.
question, Greg, my question is, as Les is putting it, he is calling him the USA assigner. My question is, does Yanni, he is absolutely certified. Does Yanni have to have an authorization from USA in
Yes.
order to assign referees to USA, or does it really simply happen because we decide to use it?
No, what he does is he signs paperwork every year. Okay, that he is going to be a USA assigner.
All right, perfect. That
Yeah,
was my
that's a
question.
job as a USA
don't-
assignment.
And we don't have, I've never had a problem with Yanni.
No,
He's great.
this was
Yanni-
again only a question of ignorance, not,
Yeah, no,
I'm not
Yanni's,
talking about Yanni. I'm talking
Yanni's
about
great.
the procedure.
right. Keep in mind though, USA assigners only assign centers. They do not assign ARs.
Right.
Now, if Yanni's your club assigner, yes, then he can assign ARs as well.
Right, the club assigner assigned the AR.
So, you know, and
But I think if to solve this problem, I think we should go to where the county, we find the referee assigners by county to assign both center and AR, and I think that will solve the problem. Because the relationship between those assigner and the referees in the county make a huge difference.
100%
and-
less, 100%.
What was that, Kathy?
I said 100%. You're spot on. That
Yeah.
will fix this.
Because the guy who refused to give up Winter Haven games for State Cup, it's because of the relationship he has in the county with our referee assigner, why he made that decision.
Yes. Yep.
okay, let's, all right.
So that's something for us to really seriously think about going forward.
Wait a minute.
And I think Deegan has already defaulted on his agreement with the league and should no longer assign referees for the league.
Now,
Would we-
now, can somebody clarify something with Mr. Deegan? That's his last name?
Yes.
Which area does he have? Does he
He
have
assigned all centers for USA.
all centers for
No.
the
Yeah.
entire league?
All centers
Wow.
in Polk,
Oh, in Polk
Oh,
County?
it's only in Polk, Greg?
correct. He doesn't have,
Okay.
I
So
think
he
it's
doesn't
Plant
have,
Plant C, is it not, Greg?
And that's
I'm
where the
sorry.
real problem is Coco, because when they have State Cup and FSPL game, most of those games are in Arbondale, and that's in Polk County.
okay, so he doesn't assign down there where Kathy is, he doesn't assign where we are? and
No.
No,
No,
okay,
he
I got
doesn't.
you. Okay, I got you. Okay, cool.
yeah, you got, used to be bars, you got Burke, and you got
Burke,
Neil,
I remember.
and Neil Franzen, and
And
Yanni
Jose,
helps out once in a while, in the, Plant City Dynamo area out there
okay, cool.
in Hillsborough County. So we kind of have three in Hillsborough. Okay,
Cool.
because it's so big, it's so vast, but, and a number of teams there, so, you know, it used to be C1, C2, all the way to C6 had a different, assigner. And we try to keep, you know, everybody knows Tony Mealy.
No,
Tony Mealy, I believe, is Pasco. Tony Mealy does Pasco County, is that right, James?
I believe so. I think so. I think it is Pasco County.
Okay.
But
all
you know,
right.
and I do, Greg, I do agree with you on that one, that you do have big counties like Hillsborough County where you may need more than one
Yeah.
county assigner. Okay. So I would put that out there on that too for other counties. You may need more than one, like you said, because they are so big.
Right.
But the important thing is for the counties to work together. But like Les was saying, on this past weekend, anything that comes over to Auburndale, Deegan gets, although he doesn't even live in Polk County. Deegan lives in Plant City. But he gets everything in Auburndale because he's under contract with FYSA to do those games over that way, over there at Auburndale,
Okay.
FSPL State Cup. So,
Well, what happened was when the regions were split up, he had specific regions, and then when everything got melded together, he kind of inherited Polk County along with what he had. Okay, so that's why things are the way they are. We don't have a problem in Hillsborough, Pinellas, Manatee. We have no issues down there. We have no issues with Kathy because Hugo does a great job down there. With her club down there and with Northport and the rest of Fort Myers and Lehigh and all the rest of them down there. Hugo's all over that stuff. So, you know, we're in pretty good shape down there with Hugo. And It's just that this, I personally, again, I think it's a conflict of interest.
It is.
Okay, and you know, for him to take referees away, or suggest to take referees away, and then not notify. I mean, if you're going to take referees away, by God, you got to notify people in advance.
Well, and here's my problem. Because the referee is already assigned weeks ago, he should have never tried to move that.
Good point.
Because if I try to cancel a game less than 21 days after he assigns a referee, he would never cancel that game. And I've tried that, and many of the teams have tried that, and he never canceled the referee, canceled the game. So he shouldn't do what he wouldn't do for himself. Okay, he's twisting the rules to benefit him.
So basically, you know, FYSA's failure to plan on their part should not be an emergency on ours.
No, it shouldn't. You know, you assign a referee for our games, you should never move them for last minute, because you wouldn't let me cancel a game last minute no matter what.
Right.
So therefore, you should live up to what you believe in on the USA side, the same way on the FSP, the FYSA side.
Correct.
I've had those encounters over the years where I've tried to cancel a game 18 days in, and he said no, because it's less than 21 days. So why is he changing it less than 24, 48 hours away? Because it benefits him financially and otherwise.
Yeah, I can tell you
But
this.
also less, because sometimes people, excuse the language, lack the balls to, like what you're doing right now, to just stand your point and say this cannot be. And then people start being very lackadaisic with the rules. So I am in 100% agreement with you. You have to take a guy like that and let him know.
On USA 21-day rules, but when it comes to him benefiting from it, he doesn't stand firm on it, and that's wrong.
It is.
I think, guys, too, with so many leagues that pop up all over the place, really this past weekend, it has harmed our league. It's harmed our league because these coaches and these parents and these players don't know the ins and outs of assigning and referees. So to have to sit there and put out an apology, it shouldn't even come from us. It should come from this assigner, because we didn't cancel these games. We were forced to cancel these games.
Exactly.
So it really harmed our league, a league that has a very good reputation. I don't believe this has ever happened before, as long as I've been involved. I mean, I've played in this league for 15, 16 years. And when I saw all the emails and all these games that were canceled because of lack of referees, I'm thinking, what is going on?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just really think it harmed us.
Yes.
And this guy gained it, like Les said, in his pocketbook. He didn't care about the reputation that this USA league puts out there. So now how are we going to fix this? I know we can fix this guy. We're going to have to hold him accountable somehow. But how do we fix it as a league?
Yeah, and that's the part I find, and I agree with you, Kathy, that's the part I find interesting, because from my experience, and you know, you take, for example, Coca team last week I was supposed to play, and we wanted to cancel that game because the team had did enough play, and Deegan wouldn't do that. He wanted the game played. Okay, and this was within 3 days in advance, and he didn't want to make that change, but yet he'll do it for FYSA. That's wrong.
And we played that game. We played that game.
We played the game, right, Coco?
Yeah. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And you won.
Well, then, you know, he's not a supporter of USA. It's very clear to me. It doesn't seem like he's not a supporter of the USA League, you know, and he's telling us what we can do and what we can't do. But yet all these games were canceled this weekend. The kids didn't get on the field.
Yeah, I think we really need to revisit this whole situation and make a change. As I said in my email yesterday, it's time to dump Deegan.
Yes. I mean, obviously, I mean, we,
Is that, Les, are you making a motion?
I'm making a motion that we make a change and replace Deegan and find someone else to be the referee assigner who is going to do it for USA and not for Deegan's pocketbook.
I would like something to the motion that we find somebody before we dump. Deegan.
yes,
Right.
yes.
And I agree with that.
So I
And if you
agree
say,
with-
if you say Deegan only assigned in Polk County, am I correct, Greg?
Yes,
So if Deegan only assigned in Polk County, then we have choices in Polk County.
Okay,
And one of the choices we have in Polk County is James. And there are other assigners in Polk County that James know and work with.
James, can you handle Polk County?
Yes, sir. I can handle Polk County. And I
So-
have to stay, and if you don't mind me saying, I also know several referees who won't even work with Deegan, that will work for me.
Okay.
I
Okay,
know all
well,
the I know all the clubs in Polk County, because I've dealt with them for years, the presidents and all that. And we can make this a great county, you know, and all that with no problem.
You know, we
So-
have a Polk County Soccer League, and James is part of the Polk County Soccer League with all the teams in Polk County. Okay, so James is known, and James has connection over the years with the various referees, and it's the same reason why that one referee that I talked to decided he's not canceling Winter Haven game and go do State Cup because of James.
great. Do we have a legal contract with this individual?
yeah, we had one. I don't know if we got contracts out this year or not to them. But in the years past, we've had them, yes.
We need to have Kathy, if you don't mind, you know, review this contract, make sure we don't get in trouble.
Yeah, because some contracts, sometimes people don't realize it when they put a contract in front of somebody, it's open-ended. It doesn't have a start date. Most of them have a start date, but they don't have a close date. And then the person on the receiving end, that's where they get their loophole, and they want to do something legally, they could. But yeah, if you could find the contract, the last contract that he signed for the league, scan
Right.
it to me and let me take a look at it. But if it's an open and ended from this season to this season, there's not going to be a problem.
Okay, so I would like to add to the motion to Les to get rid of this individual, but make sure we cover all
Our bases.
bases so we can do this correctly and legally, so we don't get, we don't get in trouble. And since we got
And I agree totally. I agree totally with you, Cover. I agree totally. It needs to, let's make sure we get everything covered.
yeah,
basis.
so.
Yeah, if you can send that to me, I'll have one of the attorneys I work with take a look at it. That won't be a
Okay.
problem.
And then when we got all the stuff straight, then let's get rid of him and take over, and James will take over.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Cool.
Anything else on this issue?
No, that's it. That's it. On COVID, I do like Kathy's. I think it's Kathy who did this. If a team calls on Friday or Thursday night saying they got an individual or some staff member infected or exposed to COVID, they should have the 10-day rule. That means they can't play the next game. They should wait to the following game. So they should actually wait 14 days. So I like that. I like that motion of that recommendation that Kathy did. I like it because a lot of that will prevent teams for using the COVID
Yes.
excuse to cancel games.
As an excuse, I agree.
That's a great idea.
Yes.
Great idea.
Kathy, I think you did great on that.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, it's real easy to say, okay, I've got two players on Wednesday that I'm going to be losing because of homecoming, prom, or whatever the excuse is. I'm going to go ahead and use COVID because let's face it. I mean, I see everybody using that all over the place. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's good. So now they'll miss that Saturday game, but they're really pumped up for the following game because it's a home game. Not so fast.
Yeah.
I agree. So
And
Not so
after
fast.
saying that, I give great respect to Coco and FC Tampa for not using that as an excuse last week when they didn't have enough players. They find the players to play the game, and that's big up to Coco and his organization.
Thank you, thank you. So do we need to make a motion on this rule, the Kathy post, you know, because it's a 10-day rule. So I think that's a motion or the Kathy proposal. I don't know if Kathy, I don't know if you want to make a motion for this rule.
I can put together the proper verbiage, but for right now, I think if a team applies to Sherry or the USA League saying they cannot play a game because of COVID-related issues, then they must take the recommendation of the CDC. We're going to observe that and say, okay, then you cannot play until the full 10 to 14 days have cleared. Then
Right.
you can get back on the field. And then it
So,
gives Sherry plenty of times respectfully to let the opponents know the following weekend. But I think you're going to see a real where the people are going to use that less.
Did
So
we-
there is.
Did we already create
I think
that
we
verbiage,
have
Kathy?
to-
Excuse me?
Did we already have that verbiage on the website, or we haven't done anything yet in that respect?
I sent something to Paul on it. I called him one day because, you know, I'm thinking, you know, there's way too many games getting canceled because of that COVID issue. And I know some people have short rosters, but you know, at the end of the day, I've seen teams, especially Cape, we send them on their way. Even if they only have 9, you're going. If it's 11v11, you're going to go because it's about the 9 kids that have been working hard and they still need to play, no matter what the outcome is. So I just was seeing this past weekend was referee issue, but the weekend before that was COVID. And I called Paul and I said, you know, just to streamline this a little bit better. Okay, if you're COVID and you got issues and you cannot play this weekend, well, then next weekend you couldn't
You
either
can't play either. Yeah, or you can't play the Sunday after.
or the
Yeah,
Sunday
yeah,
after
that-
because you're quarantined.
Because
let's
last
face
year
it.
we had that issue where a team called out on COVID and played the following Sunday.
Right.
Les,
I will, you know, to answer your question, Coco or Les, I will go ahead and put together the verbiage and get it out to you guys tomorrow if that's acceptable.
Yes, I agree.
yeah,
Okay.
Yes,
Les,
Juan.
I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here. We at the Hawks have had those cases and we have immediately reported that we are not going to play this and the other game. But just taking consideration, if that report, if somebody tells me on Monday that we have had a COVID case that has been reported today, Monday, then we have to be careful because the 10 days will be over by the next weekend. So we have to
The
have,
10 days will be over after next weekend. Because
Well,
on Monday you would miss the
no.
first Saturday game.
Yeah,
that, but not the second.
Well,
No,
we're not
that's
talking about the first
No.
game,
No,
but
10
there's a
days.
team last year that called COVID on Saturday, but played on the Sunday after that.
That's what I mean. We have to be careful. Let's say we have a report on Monday, then
Yeah.
that week they are not gonna play. But if you
Right.
take then that it was on Monday, by Sunday you already have 6 days pass by, and then you have until Friday. You're out of quarantine. You could play on
Yes.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
but we're
yes,
talking
yeah.
about the immediate Saturday and Sunday after you know, within that
Yeah.
10 days.
Yeah, but I understand what Juan is saying. If they notify us on Monday, they can play not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, but they have to notify us on Monday.
Yeah,
Or
that
Tuesday.
will be very important.
Yeah,
According
yes,
to
yes,
the
yeah.
day that they notify you,
Yeah,
So when Kathy drafts the I'm gonna say the clause of the motion, it has to go effective the day of the notification to USA League. So if the notification to USA League is Monday, then it starts from that Monday. If it's Friday, then it starts from that Friday.
Correct.
Correct? Okay.
Correct.
All right, cool. All right. Cool. All right. Are you okay with that one?
absolutely.
Okay, cool.
all right. Anything else on the COVID issue?
Nope.
All right, Kathy, it's all yours, okay? And we'll wait to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay, Kathy to write up.
all right, next issue.
Did I miss,
this-
did we cover B? I look like we went to A to C. Did we cover
Well,
B?
B and C is the same.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Well, paying
Oh,
the
the
referees.
referee, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
B
The
and C isn't.
referee.
What we're saying is this. Mike had showed, or Neil Franzen had showed me something in the bylaws whereby an act of God, be it a hurricane, whatever, water, a deluge, there is the referees come to the field, nobody shows. Okay. The referees get paid half, not full pay. They get half pay for an act of God.
Well,
what I'm thinking
well, are you
is,
saying COVID will be an act of God?
well, I don't want to call it stupidity on people's part that they don't mask up and stay away from whatever, but we're in a situation here where, you can't, I don't know how to explain this. Why referees do not call before they go to a field is beyond me. Okay. If I've got a game, I'll be damned. I'm calling the home coach, okay, the day before to make sure that the game's still on. They don't do that.
Well, maybe
Well,
maybe we should require them to do that.
They can't even submit the paperwork for a game report, Les.
I agree, because I had to send my game report in from last week because the game report never came in.
Right, exactly. So we can't get them to do their normal duties, much less add something else to it now and ask them to, you got to call the home coach to make sure the game's still on.
Well, my experience last year, I was notified at 10 o'clock that the team I was supposed to play had COVID. And at that point, we decided to pay the referee in full. Because the game was scheduled for 12 o'clock and the referee is already on their way to the field.
Which I think is the correct thing to do.
On that note, though, guys, should, in my opinion, of course, my opinion, if the referee signer has been notified, hey, these games are not going to happen this weekend, he should be notifying those referees that Friday night for say, do not go to your game. It is not going to happen.
But what if it's a case of where the kid wake up the morning and he has symptoms and it's before the game? You can't get notified on Friday night. And those things occur like my game last week.
They do. That is true.
I mean, last year. And as a result, we were notified at 10 o'clock. Because by the time the message got to Sherry and Sherry got the message out, it was about 10 o'clock and the referee's already on the way to the field. So we paid them. We were there waiting to play the game and we got the message.
I agree with you. I understand what you're saying there on that one, Les. But now we talk about that the clubs will pay half or USA is going to pay the half.
Well, USA end up reimbursing for it, but the issue is it's about what time the message comes out. Okay. So if we know the night before, it's a different ball game. But at the same time, even if we know the night before, 24 hours before, that referee could have been doing another game if he had been notified properly early enough. So the paying half, I don't have an issue with that.
Okay.
But I believe if it's the same day, they should be paid in full. Like in my case last year, where the referee didn't know the night before, but then they found out a couple hours before the game. So we also have to take that into consideration.
So what do you all think about putting this verbiage in with the act of God section?
Yes, I agree, but we have to define it a lot more at what point the half payment comes into play, whether it be 24, 48 hours prior to the game or 2 hours before the game.
Well, we already have a 48-hour rule. We already have that. If the game gets called off 48 hours and out, that there is no pay.
Okay.
That's already in the bylaws. No pay for 48 hours on out. Now,
and 24 hours?
What you need to do is probably just define 48 hours and in half pay if due to COVID.
And what about if it's 2 hours before the game?
That's within 48 hours.
Okay.
That's why they want to put 24, 40, 24, 12, 6, 4, 2. anything within 48 hours,
Yeah.
you know, they would get half.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
James, you're a referee.
I'm sorry, I had myself muted. My apologies. No, I agree with you there. The only thing I think what Les was trying to say was, if it's a 2 hour, you could always do 48 hours down to within 5 hours, and then 5 hours after it's full pay. You could always write it that way too, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the way I was looking at it is if it didn't occur the day before the game, then, you know, it's hard to control the referees not showing up at the field. If it didn't occur, you wake up 6 o'clock in the morning or 7, and you got this message before a 12 o'clock game. I mean, it's tough to control. And therefore, I believe at that point, the referee should be paid in full.
Kathy, what do you think on that one? You seem to have the knowledge on that one. What do you think?
I would agree. I agree with that.
Like
Yeah,
that 48
and the
hours
reason
down
is,
to 5
At
at
hours
that
and then
point,
5
they
hours?
can't get a new game to replace the
They,
game that they had. That's why I'm thinking that way.
Repeat
No, I
that.
agree with you.
Repeat that again, Les.
If the game wasn't canceled before midnight the night before, and you get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and you're heading to a 10 o'clock game and you get a call that the team reported COVID, at that point, the referee already committed to doing that game and he should be paid in full.
yes.
I think we should do that. I think we need to take care of our referees, especially if we
The
want
fact
to.
that we have not enough.
What happened with FSPL? You
Yeah,
know.
we have, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with Kathy and everybody else. I
You
think we should
know,
pay them.
we've got the money in the account and we, a little extra love during these trying times and all these different leagues that are popping up all over the heck. It's the referees, if they're feeling the love and the support. I agree 100%.
Because if we start telling them that, because we found about something 3 hours or 2 hours before a game and they won't be paid, then they might not want to ref for us anymore.
Exactly.
And we're already short the way it is.
Yep. 100%. 100%. I agree with that. We got to take care of them too. Got to show them a little love. They'll stick around. They'll support us.
All right. So what you're saying is 48 hours up to game day is half pay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
If it's called off on game day,
Full.
it's
They
full
should
pay.
get the full pay.
Is that what you want? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So 48 hours to game day.
So I'll make a motion to this point, so we make it official. I'll make a motion.
Second.
48 hours, half pay, a couple hours before game, full pay.
Okay,
Second.
48 hours to game day is half pay.
The
Game
day after game is full pay.
Full pay.
Okay.
So I'll make a
Okay.
motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion pass.
Okay. Let me throw a quick one out there. We all know that Merritt Guthrie had passed away a couple weeks ago, and
Yes.
Paul and I had talked about it, and I just wanted to make sure that we brought this up. We both brought this up to the board, so that we're not going off spending money willy-nilly. What we had in mind, Merritt's charity is Wounded Warrior, and we were going to put a honorarium in his name to Wounded Warrior for $500.
Yes.
Is everybody
I agree.
All in
Yes.
favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
All
Okay.
opposed?
Thank you. That's an easy one.
Motion pass.
Okay, 500 for Merritt. And let me see. The only other thing I have here is this, and I don't know.
Deciding on the division for Premier.
Oh, yeah. Let's take care of that because that's going to be simple.
My suggestion on that is that that if we have Premier, we have Premier Division 2 and Division 3.
I
Not
agree with
Premier,
Juan.
not Premier, Division 1, Division 2, Division 3.
I agree with Juan. We should have Premier, Division 2 and Division 3.
Yes,
And that's it.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So, so let's make a motion, the Premier Division, and then we got Division 2 and Division 3. And then all in favor, go ahead, Les, sorry.
Okay, so all in favor of having the Premier Division and then Division 2, Division 3?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Okay.
Motion pass, motion carry.
Okay.
So we'll have a Premier Division and then Division 2 and Division 3.
Yes.
and this is for 13 and up.
For everybody.
For everybody.
Everybody.
No, you can't, no, you
Because
can't.
I think the
You can't.
question now was about the junior teams. Am I correct, Juan?
Yeah,
I
No,
guess
So we'll
mine,
have a Premier. We can't go back on the senior teams because that's already done. So it's for going forward and then going into next year for
Yeah.
everybody.
Greg, you're right that it's not for everyone. I wouldn't put it for the 10 and under.
No.
No, I agree with you.
But-
you can't,
But,
you
but
can't put it,
starting at U11.
you can't do it for them either. Because
Why?
we're
Why
not,
not?
because we're not keeping scores or standings for 10 and under.
No,
Yeah,
no, that's what we're saying. No
that's
10 and
what
under.
No
Yeah.
10 and under. No 10 and under. U11, U12, yes.
Yeah, no, follow my logic here, people, please. We have no standings or scores for 10 and under presently.
We agree. We agree.
And we will
agree.
never do that because that's a US soccer mandate. So there's no way we can possibly vet 11 and 12-year-old teams if we don't have standings and we don't have goals.
No, but we would start with standings at U11 and we would have standings at U12.
We can start with standings there at 11 and 12, but we don't just throw.
We have had standings on U11 and U12.
And how would you vet a team into Premier in a U11
Well,
age
the,
group?
the
I
coach is
see.
deciding that he wants to play Premier, so we have to allow them to make that decision.
Yeah, I
No.
think that we can. I'll give you my example, Greg. We go into the U11. We had our teams in at U10, and now I have to make a decision as a DOC and say, all right, that U11 team is composed by an excellent group of players. Let's put them in the Premier Division. But the U12, you will not have to do that because you already have the U11 president. So it's really only for the U11s, but I think that we should do it because you can absolutely not sell to the parents. And I don't think that you should sell to the parents that U11, you're still competing without standings.
No, I'm not talking about standings. You're getting confused. 11s and 12s, we keep scores and standings. I agree. Yes, I agree.
But
But there is already huge differences of
I think you're saying, Greg, that because you didn't keep score in U10, therefore you can't say a U10 team moving up to U11 is a Premier team. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and to be honest with you, if I can't think about this, if you can't get a coach to come to a coaches meeting, how are you going to be able to trust the guy to tell you, yeah, I got a Premier team?
Well,
And
we
you
had,
can't-
we had a coach last week in a junior meeting who insisted our team need to be in Premier, even though it was a U10 team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna keep an eye on her.
That's my point, though. That's my point. What's been the backbone of USA for 35 years, okay, is that juniors are juniors and they compete regionally. We don't want them driving willy-nilly from Citrus County all the way down to Cape Coral for a match just because it's Premier. On that Premier is anybody's guess what that means.
Well, that's what she's deciding to do.
Oh, yeah, we got
Well,
11s.
Well,
They're
she
all
messed
over-
up that
they're all over
whole
Florida.
U9, U10 group
They're
by saying
traveling.
she don't want to play with those other teams because she's a better team than everybody else.
Yep.
That's what she decided last week.
Yep.
Well, my
Am I
question
right,
is
Alan?
this.
Yes. Oh, no, you're right. You're right.
My question is this: when you go from U12 to U13, you're now stepping onto the big field. You have 4 more players involved, so you have no clue what you're going to be at you.
Well, everybody's doing the same thing as someone reminded me last weekend. Okay. So
would say,
everybody's in the
though-
same boat. They're going from U12 to the big field.
I would say though that
And it doesn't matter
the first
what you
time-
are prior, you're all going to the big field no matter what.
Yeah, but I would say that your first time out, you should not be able to go premier your first year into the big field. You should have to start off in a second or third division and prove yourself on the big field.
Guys, can I interrupt for a second? Because then we would have an issue here. I'm gonna read to you because we did Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3 on the U11s on the boys side. It's not like it's not already done. I can, for instance, the 11U boys. We have a team of FC Tampa Rangers, one of San Carlos, one of Venice, another from FC Tampa Rangers, one of our teams, Players Clubs, and FC Sarasota. And then we have Division 2, and then we have Division 3 North and Division 3 South. That's how we ended up getting, and this is a bunch of teams. We are talking about 7, 15, 25, 32 teams on the 11U Boys 2011. And I don't believe that we are putting here in this travel schedule, particularly on the Division 1. I'm gonna read to you the second division. Tampa Dynamo, Cape Coral, Tampa Rangers, Tampa Bay United, Northport, Oldsmar, Plant City, and Auburndale. So there is they're gonna travel in 5 games. And I personally don't think that that's too much of a big deal. Again, like somebody else was saying, that's my opinion. But at this point, that's how our divisions are being and our schedules are being built. That's what we did during the meeting, and I can go to the 12U boys, and we have the Division 2 North, Division 2 South, Division 3 North, and Division 3 South, and a Premier Division with Sarasota, Rangers, Cape Coral, Hawks, Rangers, and the Azzurri. So we already have there that structure. I can tell you from the point of view of our parents, let's say the 12Us, they know that they have some traveling to do. They are into competitive soccer, and I don't think that it's a huge exaggeration if you have to go 3 times a year in a season, let's say all the way down to Azzurri and perhaps Cape Coral. It's two trips, plus perhaps one that is half an hour or TBU on the far side. I think that we also have to be aware that and I'm gonna bring up here a point that has been brought up to me a couple of times already, as people understand that I am part of USA, of the USA League. I think that we should focus a little bit more on ourselves and start thinking less about if FCL loses teams or isn't doing things organized or not. We should focus on ourselves. And if we don't follow the trend, the general trend, which is not an exaggerated trend, when somebody tells me, let's go to Miami for a 10U boys team, yes, I agree with you. But if somebody tells me I cannot go to a trip, let's say to Brooksville, to Citrus County with a U12 team, I'm asking myself, do you want to be in competitive soccer of a high level? It is a fact. It is a fact that people are looking for better leagues to play. And I think that we have to have a little bit more of an open mind to say, all right, let's give also not only the impression, but let's do the creative work to have our leagues be attractive for teams to play in there instead of being looking for higher leagues somewhere else.
Right.
We have to be creative on that, because other than that, the train is going to leave us behind.
Yep.
I couldn't agree more.
I agree with you, Juan. I agree with you, Juan.
We have to reinvent ourselves to make it
Alan, what did
attractive for teams.
Alan, what did you have on the girls' side? Did you have premier team on the girls' side, Alan?
Yes. Well, guys, you got to remember, if we tell the whole junior league that we're really not going to have standings, we're not going to be promotions, what is 50, 60% of them teams going to do? They're going to leave us. There will be no senior, there'll be no senior league in 4 years. You
That's
have
only-
to have a purpose of playing.
Yeah, that's only for 10 and down because we've been mandated.
Well, what I'm saying is these coaches, what we have to do every year, what I see we're not doing is regulation of the bottom two going down and the top two going up. We have to, the bad teams, we have to get out of that what we consider D1 or Premier and regulate them down. Because
Yeah,
some
you
of these teams think once they get into Premier, they're going to be in Premier for the next 5, 6
Forever,
years.
yeah.
So we have to, we as a club have to do better. Because one thing I've been fighting for the last 5 years is we go to these coaches meeting and let the coaches decide where they want to be.
And then that is a great point, Alan.
Well, I think the problem is the last 2 years because of COVID, we have not really, because in the past.
No, we didn't do it before.
We kind of did the regulation where teams go down and go up. But in the last couple of years, we have dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah.
Right.
But Alan, you're bringing up a great point. This is a problem of the way DOCs are approaching their job.
Yeah.
You don't allow, I do not allow coaches to make decisions for the club because of a very simple thing. They do not have access to all the information that a DOC has. So when Les tells me that what has happened to him, that a coach goes somewhere and makes a decision without asking about if they have field space or that's exactly the point.
Right.
The point is that I don't see many times, I don't see the DOCs in the team meetings.
Right.
You see a coach, and I as a vice president, I don't want to sound here like a snob or like an elitist or whatever, but I as a vice president, I want to talk to the DOC. I don't want to talk to the coaches. I want the coaches to be there, but I want to have there a DOC that makes a responsible decision that can tell that coach, I'll take it from here. That team is going to play Division 2.
Well, why don't we do this? I think it's something to think about next year.
And one, on that issue, this week I had to send Sherry an email saying, no game change or canceled game should be made without first my approval for Winter Haven Soccer Club. Because I have one coach who has gone rogue and changed all my games and scheduled games that fields are not even available.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we do this, especially like Premier or whatever for the junior teams or whatever. If somebody fights us saying that they deserve to be in the Premier, why don't we have the DOCs sign off on those teams, send it to USA?
Well, keep in mind what we used to do in the past. Okay. And if
We
we're
had
going
to
to go
play a weekend before to earn our spots, what we used to do.
Right.
Right. And what we used to do is the teams were vetted. You took a look at the standings from the previous year, made sure that the team was at least 50% from the previous year. And that if a team wanted to play in, they would have to get practice games against the bottom 3 teams or the middle 3 teams.
Yep.
And come up with and do that prior to the scheduling meeting so that we can vet the team properly. Nobody.
I remember that.
You remember
Yes,
those
I do
days?
too. That's old school.
But it works.
It worked. Well, you know what? We have time now. We have time because I tell you, the last 3 years, these coaches meetings is just something's got to change.
Yeah.
It's just got to change.
I think these are these coaches with these egos who think their team is better than they are. And I've played in D1 in the last several years, and there are teams that I've played that should not be in D1. When you're beating a team 10-0 and 8-0, they shouldn't be there.
No.
Yep.
Well, can I ask a question? Would it be possible for USA, like sometime in the midsummer as you're planning for next year, instead of having a coaches meeting, have a DOC meeting and make it mandatory for the DOC meetings to come and give their input for their teams coming in for that year?
We've tried
I
that.
would love to do that.
We've
We
tried
make
it
it
and
mandatory, Greg.
we did. Nobody showed. I take that back. I take that back. 6 DOC showed. And we had it at the same place that we had our scheduling meetings over and over. And so what happens is we go to the scheduling meeting and now all of a sudden, instead of 8 in a bracket, you got 14 in a bracket because
Wow.
nobody wants to I'm going to copy Juan. Okay. Juan's nomenclature. Nobody had the balls to tell him, no, you're Division 2. No, you're not playing.
And here's how I try to do it at the club is if you're going to tell me you're a D1 team, you better win D2 before you get to D1.
Thank you.
Or you better come second.
The first top two.
Before you get to D1. Because
Yeah.
that's how I've done it with my team. From D3 all the way up, I never moved up until I win the previous division, the
Yeah.
previous group.
Well, now they got answers to the parents of why they're being charged so much. I mean, you can't keep going back to a parent and said, your fees are this, but we're a D3 team. It's a lot of it's
Well,
financial.
it's just like Alan in our club. We have one team that think they are just this dynamite team and they should be playing State Cup and FSPL and everything. And I, on the other hand, disagree with that.
I know. But we have, I think between now and next year, we got some work we need to do to
Reorganize.
yes,
Kinda like, yeah.
yes.
Reorganize the U11 and U12. Maybe we can make the
Okay.
U12 a premier D2, D3, and maybe the D11, just make it D1, D2, D3, just because they're coming out of a U10.
Yes,
So
I agree.
If you're not in the top 3 in your previous division, you should never be considered for D1 for the premier group.
Great.
11s
Great.
and
Let me-
12s going forward. Then this year, 11s and 12s will have a premiere.
No,
They-
just 12, just 12.
just
No,
12.
they
Just
don't
12.
play here, but they have a different level. So what I'm
Yeah.
telling you is that the U11 boys, they have a Division 1, and I'll give you the example of my team. I put that team in there because I know that it's a good team.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess that the team of the Rangers is a team that Mike has vetted and that he knows that
Right.
it's a
Right.
All right. So all we're looking at is we're putting premiere in for U12s.
all right.
Yes.
Okay,
Starting
all
at
right.
12.
Yeah, just start at U12, and then that'll give the U11 to like coming out of
Yes.
U10, given a year season.
You give it a year, see what they do, put them in D1
Yeah.
and put them in D1 and U11, and then, then you can sort it out for 12 for premiere.
So let me give you an example. I had a game against Mike Cano's D3, against my D3 U12. And I already decided that my U3 is not capable to play USA D3. So I withdraw that team already from it, just from the 3 scrimmages I already had. They're not ready yet. They're still a rec team.
Yeah,
So-
I saw that. I saw your email, and I will work on that tomorrow with Sherry.
So as a DOC, as a person club, we need to be recognized that, hey, these players are not ready yet. So
So, Greg, this would be the situation right now. But from what we had at the end of our meeting, 11 U boys shows Division 1, 2, and 3 North and 3 South. The 12 U boys shows right now Premier, Division 2 North, 2 South, Division 3 North, and Division 3 South. The 13 U boys, we would have to change there because we had there on Division 1. So I'm going to change that to Premier. Do we agree on that?
For
Yes.
U12, for U12.
No, U13.
U12, U13, and U14.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's Premier. Then they have the U13s, Division 2 North and Division 2 South. No Division 3 right now.
okay.
And the 14 U boys, they would have Premier. And then we have Division 2, and then Division 3 North and Division 3 South.
Okay.
That's how it would be on the boys' side.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll send
Juan.
you.
Put an email out to me and Sherry with that, please.
Yeah, I
Sherry
will.
Sherry needs to change
Alan.
the schedule.
Alan, what about you?
Alan, how
Yeah,
about you?
I'll send it to y'all too. I'll break it down.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay.
All right,
Um,
anything else?
yeah, one more thing. This kind of came kind of suddenly and strange. I've got a bill sitting here from Gotsport and FYSA. Okay.
I laugh because we all have that issue. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, well, it's for 19 background checks. Okay. Now, again, the only thing I can remember in the years gone by is that if you're on the board, and I could be wrong, I'll stand corrected if somebody can show me. But if you are a coach, a DOC, whatever with your club and on the board, you get your background check through your club, not through the league. Okay. So what happened is I got the only people that should be on here logistically, literally, is Sherry, because she doesn't coach, Paul, because she doesn't coach, and that's about it. Everybody else is either a coach or a referee.
But
Referee,
how was it done? How was it done last year? Because as I told you earlier when I was discussing this with you,
right?
I was told if I'm on the board that the board would pick up my background check. And I'm the president of the club, the DOC, you know, and also a coach. So I have 3 roles. But last year, this was never questioned, and I'm not sure what's different this year because the same issue occurred since I've been on the board, where from what I understand, the board paid for our background check. But I'm not sure if something didn't get looked at in the prior years, or it's different, or what.
Well,
Greg,
I've never put mine in through the league. Mike Connell's never put his in through the league.
me neither.
Coco.
Well, I'm
hasn't.
not sure how it happened, Greg, but in my case, when I joined the board, the charge went to the league and not to the club, and I'm not sure how it happened. I'm not sure how that decision is made. So that's what I'm not clear on.
Well, I had got kind of the same thing because I got an email for Sherry and said, hey, you need to go and do your background check.
Right.
And all that. So I went in and did my background check, and it came back through on the FYSA side.
Exactly.
But
And
I
that's
ended
the
up
same thing happened when I joined. I did my
Right.
background check through the USA side, and this year the same way, got an email to do my background check. So I'm not sure if it's a case of where you do your background check first that determine who pays for it.
No,
And I guess that's what we need to clear up.
it's where you take it.
This is the first time it has ever been addressed since I've been on the board.
Okay, if I go look at mine, I'll use me as an example because I've been in there, I know it. I've got 1, 2, I've got 3. I've got USYS, I got 4, FYSA, I've got USA, and I got FC Rangers. Okay, the only one that I didn't click anything else in there other than FC Rangers, FC Tampa. That's the only thing I clicked. Coco did the same thing. He did his under FC Tampa. Okay.
I did my under Florida Hawks, but the problem was, Greg, that there was being, and I think that happened the same thing as James is saying, when Sherry sent me that I needed to do one for the USA League, the system was not allowing to show that I did already have, and this is all under
Right.
FYSA.
That's been fixed. That's been fixed now.
Yeah, but it's too late. I
Automatically rolls
mean,
up.
And that's the problem, because in some cases, like in Allen's case, we got charged twice for the background check.
Well, mine, I had to go back in and pay $42 to get it done so I could do my assigning for FSR. So even though you guys got billed for it, I still had to go in and pay again to get it done for FSR.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion this year. And I think, Greg, where the problem occurs because I got sport.
Yes, you are so right on that one.
That's where the problem occurred. Got sport, the whole system is just so messed up that we're paying for things multiple times.
Okay, so
So we got it between the clubs and the league. We got to figure out what we have paid for who, so FYSA can credit either USA or credit the club if we have overpaid multiple times.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I believe that occurred.
All right. Well,
Because I know it has occurred for Alan.
Yeah. Yeah.
like I said, I know I got Sherry, I got Les, I got Dave Jackson, James Bowen, Juan, Alan. Then I got Deegan, Tony Mealy, and about 6 other referees: Luis Epicella, Robert Vertrees, Richard Bruce, David Blickstad, Brian Beaumont, David Hawks, Damianos Luizu. Here's a guy that you got to talk to, Les, Stephen Herzog.
He's Arbondale president. How did you get billed for him?
I don't get billed for him.
Oh,
He's not on the board. He's not on our board.
but you get a bill for him?
Yep, I got a bill for him.
How though?
Don't ask me.
That's
He's
a
never been on the
godfather.
board.
I got billed for him for a background check. I got it. I'm looking at the.
Well, then
Can you
guess
see the
what?
list
I
there?
think this is, Greg, I think this is an FYSA problem because Herzog is the president of Arbondale.
That's right. My bad, Les. My bad. I get you guys mixed up all the time.
They look nothing alike. They don't look anything alike.
I'm sorry, Les.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. I know you and Alan are in the same club, but I thought Herzog was in your club
No,
too.
Herzog is in Arbondale.
Yeah, he's a troublemaker. My son used to play against him back.
Yeah, but
back
you shouldn't get billed for him because he's not on the USA board.
I should not get billed for him, correct. So I've got to send an invoice to him to have him send me a check. And I've got email address for each of these referees. I got to do the same. And as far as the assigners go,
But FYSA should fix that and rebill it.
they can't.
Why?
Got Sport cannot give credits.
Wow.
I'm serious.
That's a
I've already
crooked system
already
if I've ever
contacted them.
heard it.
Working on this for a week. So
Why can't they give credit?
they don't have the software to do that.
Oh my
Then-
God.
Yet,
It's a pen and a piece of paper. You
Yeah.
write a check.
Hey.
yet. They don't have it yet.
Speaking as a CPA, I've never known a system that can't give credit.
Well, that's right. I mean, what? All the more reason you needed to be on that board.
Greg, meanwhile, please don't pay the background check of Mr. Deegan.
Yeah, that if you can't give a credit, that's a bad system. Because even my club can give a credit. Okay.
All right.
So-
Now, one of the things you may want to,
IOU.
yeah, there you go. Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail. Right. It's in the mail. Right. I got it. One of the things you may want to think about, though, going forward, keep this in the back of your head. We don't have to stay with this stuff. We
With
can
what?
go
With that sport.
Yeah, we don't have to use Got Sport. We can use Blue Sombrero. We can use whoever we want.
Wow.
We are not we are not
Well-
mandated to use it.
Well, we have
So,
and that's the part I don't understand because we have used Blue Sombrero along with Got Soccer in the past for different because Blue Sombrero worked well with collecting payments online.
Right. Correct.
And we were using that and we use Got Sport for registration, Got Soccer.
Right.
So you're saying we don't have to use Got Sport? I thought that was something that FYSA require all the FYSA
No,
members
didn't
to use.
They
No.
only want to use Got Sport to initially register your teams. So they can charge you.
I personally think that this is how, when people tell you don't buy a new car because wait until it's 2 years old and all the problems have been solved. But I wouldn't rush into dismissing Got Sport. I am going through the same problems, but they are going to solve most of their problems. And I would think that it doesn't make sense if the big umbrella organization is going under that we would go with a different system, understanding, yes, that it's creating a lot of problems right now, but that we hope that they will be solved when the system is a little bit older and a little bit more.
Yeah, but
Fine.
they should, the timing of the rollout was not good. The timing should have started once we ended the season last year.
That I understand.
Yeah, it's a timing issue, and there's a lot of people still haven't figured it out. Like today, I went to my field and there was a game before mine, and both coaches did not even know where to print a match card.
Yep, I've had the same problem.
I had to go in the office and print the match cards for both of them.
But
So there's a lot of people who don't know how to use the thing, and it's even worse for somebody who has never even got soccer.
yeah. For us, you know what has been helpful? We have a service that it's called Soccer Office, and they do a bunch of the administrative work, and they have been working around the clock to get to know the system. So some of the inquiries that we have had, for instance, match cards, player passes, and stuff like that, Soccer Office, through their guys, have figured it out. And then when we send a support ticket, they respond to us. Yeah, I understand that it's not, let's say, a light issue. It is a very important issue right now for everybody, not only for us.
I learned the system by playing with it every morning at 5 o'clock when I get up for about a half an hour, trying to figure out what I can get and what I can't get.
Welcome to my world too. Yes, exactly like that.
So I finally learned to print a match card before my first game. So I was fortunate in that one. But you know, I guess I need to go back and check my billing to make sure that it's not a duplication on there, because I just got a bill that I paid and never even looked at it.
That's not very good for a CPA, is not look at a bill.
Well, I didn't, you know, I asked my registrar to look at it, and she said, okay, I'm paid it, but I need to go take a look at it.
All right, guys, I am needing to leave. So
Okay,
All right. Any
Thank
other
you.
issue on the agenda for tonight? Are we complete, Greg?
yep, that should take care of everything.
I'll make
Ladies
a
and
motion.
gentlemen,
I'll make
it's
a
been
motion
an
to.
awesome night, and I thank you all for coming out.
Les, I think we gotta make a motion to end the second
Yeah,
meeting.
and it was, before we do that, it's my pleasure to be provided this opportunity to chair this meeting tonight.
Thanks,
And I
Les.
thank you all for your support, and
Thank you, Les.
okay, the floor is yours.
Thanks,
I'll
Les.
make a motion to end the second meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I abstain.
Meeting adjourned. Motion passed.
Thank you.
Have a good
Aye.
evening.
Everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Have a
Thank you,
good evening,
guys.
everybody. Be good.
Awesome spirited meeting, and
Wow.
looking forward to hearing from you guys. Kathy, looking forward to see your COVID thing.
Yes, sir. I'll work on it tomorrow.
Okay,
Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy.
thank you.
Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye.